Hi, hope you guys are doing well. So today we'll be smashing a car in Blender. So the first thing we'll be needing are these models of car and anvil. The link to both of these is in the description below. You can use any car model or anvil, but I suggest you use these. I'll explain the reason while going forward in the video. So once you enter Blender, make sure that you have separate collections when you import the car. When you create a collection, you can create a new collection for all of the objects by going right click and then creating new collection. So once you have new collections for both anvil and car, you can import the objects. So when you first select the car collection, then go file, import FPX, and then navigate to wherever the car models was. So first you have the car models, which is divided into three parts: the plane, the glass, and the body itself. And then there's the anvil. You can actually see it right now. So let me just hide the car. When you hide the car, you can see here's the anvil. So first let's just delete the base for the anvil. We don't need that. We don't need this pedestal sort of thing either, so let's just delete that also. When you select this anvil, you can see that its point of origin is over here. We don't want that, so object, set origin to geometry. So now its origin is over here, and also we'll just move it above, and then we'll make our car reappear. As you can see, the car is bigger than the anvil, so we'll scale the anvil up. I think about this size is good, so click Ctrl A and then apply scale so that there are no further problems. Now as for the car model, you can actually see that it's divided into two parts. So we need the plane, we need the base body, but we don't need the glass. So I'll just hide this. The reason is when the anvil hits over here, so then we might have to create the smashing animation. This was the reason I chose this model of the car. And the anvil is also pretty low poly. As you can see, they're pretty low poly, so you can actually increase the poly count easily, but decreasing the poly count of a high poly model, that's the mess, is actually harder. So this is why I choose these models. So the second thing I'm going to do is click on this car model tab, select all, and then face and click tries to quads. Now let's just have what I'm going to do is add modifier, and then going to add in a subdivision surface, but instead of a chemical arc, we're going to go into simple one. But as you can see, when I turn on and off, the shading is weird. This shouldn't be happening. The reason is this model has custom normals, so you have to click on this checkbox, use custom normals, and then we will go to levels about 2. So I'll just leave it for here as just right now. Also the car doesn't currently have a material, so if you want to give it the shaders, the textures are in the model. So first let's just zoom out, delete these, and for this you need to have the node wrangler enable. So go to edit, preferences, and add-ons, and just type in node and make sure that node wrangler is enabled. So once it is enabled, click on the principal BSF shader, and then click on Ctrl Shift T and navigate to where you had downloaded the model. So I'm just going to go into textures and select all of these textures except for this base of inclusion, because this is for the plane below. So when I do that, oh, the setup isn't completely forming. I'll just do that for the anvil as well. I'll just get back to the car later on. So I'll do the same, Control Shift T. It's because the textures aren't properly named. As you can see, for displacement says G, the names convention should be properly, like over here you can see it says proper metallic base color, and this is how Blender can actually tell which texture is which, and then it can easily create this principal setup. And as you can see, the anvil looks pretty great. So now let's get back to texturing the car. So we're going to have to recreate the texture setup. Instead of ambient occlusion, we're going to be needing the base color, and we'll just plug it over here. Then we're going to duplicate it, and now we're going to go into the this one. Let's just instead of the except for the ambient occlusion, just keep selecting all the other ones one by one. Roughness. So the R1 is roughness. We'll plug it here. The M is metallicness. we'll also plug it here, and for all of this we're going to select the mapping over here. And remember, the texture coordinate node should have the UV one plugged in into the mapping one. Add in a normal map node, plug this one into the normal map node, and then plug this over into the normal, and we're done for the material part. Now the next step, you can turn on the things we're going to be needing is motion blur, and the render engine is fine. As you can see, this looks good enough, and change the light to sun and the strength to 7. This looks reasonably well. You can texture the base plane yourself. I don't think it's that hard. So I'll be hiding the above collection for now, and we're just going to be working in the material mode or the solid mode for now. So first thing first, we need to move the anvil to the side because I wanted to crash over here on the side part. Also, before I forget, we are going to have to apply the scale for the car as well. So Control A, apply scale. Also make sure that the rotations are set to 0. For the anvil, I think this one should be 0 and this one should be 90. So there is that. Now the first thing we're going to do is create what's called the blocking phase for the anvil. So the anvil is going to first start on the frame 6. I actually did mission 4 and frame 6 sounded reasonable. So, and on the Z axis I'll insert a single keyframe, and then on frame 12 it's going to hit the car, so GZ, and move it about here where it's going to cause the dent, and then we're going to add in another keyframe. Then on frame 24 it's going to go and fall down about here. Now I'll add a keyframe over here as well, and then also the rotation will change like so, and then GZ. I'll actually add a rotation keyframe from all this for now, but when we go back to over here, I want the rotation to be back to the oval part. So about over here we're going to be changing the X value like so, and then add a keyframe. The Y isn't going to be touched since it's sort of falling on these two planes, and the rotation is going to go back to normal. So this is going to turn into 90, and I'll add in a keyframe over here, and maybe the X should be a little bit over here, and then I'll just replace the single keyframe. So right now our rotation, I'll just delete this keyframe on the Y. The reason it's pointless, it's not being animated. So there's that, and also the location on the X I guess needs a keyframe as well on the 24 frame. So the X and Z, and the X and Z rotation and location both have keyframes, while the Y do not have the keyframes, neither on rotation neither on the location part. So this is what our animation currently looks like, and we're going to be needing the graph editor to fix this. So let's go into the graph editor and open this up and turn the ones off, everything else off. The first we're going to be going on the Z. The Z is what the fall, and the fall is linear. That doesn't work. Objects speed up when they start falling. So we're going to select these two and right click, and then change interpolation mode to Bezier, and also the handle type to free. And then I'm going to just move it like so, and then move this as well. So basically they're making this sort of shape, half arch shape. Basically in this entire animation is going to be composed of this half arch shape animations. So first it hits over here, and then it goes down over here, and the next part I'll just click on the dot and you can see this stuff clearly. Now again interpolation mode, Bezier, handle type free, and we're making that art shape again. So let's see how the fall looks now. You see, so don't worry, it will start looking a lot more natural when we put in the dent. So this, you will basically be creating the same thing, the same arches for all of them. If I'll just do it another one for the another one, for how it goes on to the X. For the X, again I'm going to select this, right click, interpolation mode, Bezier, handle type free, and for this one again the same shape. Actually for this one you can actually exaggerate it a bit, like sort of like this. The reason it hits and then it jumps above, sort of like you know how something bounces, and this one also goes like so. The rest of them should pretty much be like the same thing. Now for the X location, we'll do the same thing, handle type free, interpolation mode, Bezier, and if you actually are having trouble zooming in, then click on the dot button and it will automatically Blender will zoom in for you. Now I'll just move it so, and it's a total of 1 second animation, so you can actually wake it up a bit. Basically it shouldn't be like freezing over here in the air. That's not normal, that shouldn't be happening. It's an animal, it's pretty hard, but for the sake of it you should actually know that this isn't normal. You can't tweak the animations further, but because of the limited time in the tutorial I actually want to skip this part for now, and we're going to go to the next part with creating the dent. Now creating the dent actually can be done with two ways. It's up to you how you want to do that. Both of the methods require shape keys or blend shapes, how you call it. So the first one is obviously in the shape, we can add a shape key for the car basis, and then click on another and create another shape key, and it hits the car on the 12th frame. So on the 12th frame we can just go ahead and apply the subdivision surface modifier. Oh, you can't apply it because it has shape keys, so I'm just going to delete the shape keys for now. This is the reason why I actually want to go with the second method. It also involves the shape keys, but you can actually keep the subdivision surface modifier. It's more safer. So the second modifier also the second method also requires the shape keys, but not on the car itself, but on the lattice. So first we add in the lattice, shift a lattice. I'll just go to wireframe mode, GZ, and then scale it to about the size of the car, maybe little. Make sure that it's as big as the car, because it will be easier for you. So it's almost as the same size as the car, and then scale on the Y, and then I'll just move it in center, and then S again, S on the Y. Now you can see the lattice modifier is almost touching the boundaries of the car. It's just slightly above in the red part. So we'll just go into the lattice data in the resolution tab. I'll just increase the one, and now I note this part. So this part doesn't require that much subdivisions, but for the hell of it, go with 9 for all of them. Maybe on the W, go with 18. We actually need more on these two parts. Okay, so on VU or VW 18, and on U just 9 will do. And you can click the car model and then add another modifier. It will be the lattice modifier, and obviously we only have one lattice, so just select it and then click on the lattice again itself, and we will be creating shape keys for the lattice. So again, shape keys, click +1 to create the basic shape key, and then click another one to create the first key. We're going to tab into edit mode, into the lattice modifier, and in the proportional editing tab you can create the sharp one or anyone where you think works for you. It doesn't have to be the same as me, and then turn on proportional editing. Now select these edges where the anvil is hitting, and then click on GZ, maybe expand it to show sort of a dent. I think this one looks good enough, although I think yeah, this shouldn't be happening, so Control Z, and maybe I'll just deselect these bottom ones, just selecting the top two ones. Reason they're starting to affect this part of the car mesh, and it shouldn't be happening. So again, GZ, maybe I'll just level the area by scrolling my mouse wheel, and about this size, since it's going to be like happening in a second, so it matters a little bit but not too much. And maybe you can add a couple of more vertices. I think this much is good enough. So now, because we have done it using shape keys, I can easily just turn off the lattice modifier, but have it still selected, and I can just change the value to smash it on and off. On the frame 11, obviously it's just on the tip of it, so on the frame 11, click I to add a keyframe while having the lattice key value 0, and then on the frame 12 you can increase the value to 1, and then add another keyframe, since again it's just happening in a split second, and then the anvil just falls down. You can actually work on the anvil's falling animation from this part, since it needs to be faster, speedier. It doesn't need to freeze in the air. It's considered sort of like a homework or in the animation part for you. And also you can create the shake of the car when the anvil hits on frame 12. On frame 11 we are going to select it, and then on the rotation on the Y, and make sure that it's really low but not too much. In the preview video I did it too much, and if you do it too much, then you can see that the car started to phase through the plane, which isn't normal. So you can actually just do it like on the frame 11 you can add a keyframe on 0 degrees, then on frame 12 when the it hits, add to 1 degree or maybe 2 degrees, it's your own choice, then add another keyframes. And you can also obviously play around with the interpolation. Most likely you will have to play around with the interpolation, and then go back and turn it into 0 and add in another keyframe, and so forth. If you're going to go with the value 2, then on the next time you can go with value 1, and then 0.5 and so forth, to create a sort of like these arches, these pyramids slowly becoming smaller. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and watch for another one of my videos, as that's how the YouTube algorithm works. It's a small channel and it won't cost you anything. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.